up a chair, set the world aside. Let's find the truth we keep trying to hide.
Welcome to Across the Table. I'm your host, James Finocchio. With me today, I have Todd Hinkle, an old friend of mine. Todd, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi, I'm Todd Hinkle. I'm an old friend of his.
Oh, man. So Todd is a musician, and he also does work at the Altoona School District. So you had to pass your background check.
Yeah. Good thing, I guess.
Yeah. But mostly the reason you're here today is to talk about your music.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
And you're releasing an album soon with your band. What's the name of your band?
Well, we're not actually releasing an album yet. We're working on focusing more on the live aspect at this point, doing some rehearsing and releasing some reels and some things like that. You know, the band's kind of supporting me in a project that I want to do. It's kind of like Todd Hinkle and his band of balladeers. That's musicians that basically just get together, jam, try to play at our best, but yet just not focus so much on being like a professional, but doing a good show here and there that's a good just for fun and, you know, things like that.
Now, who all's in your band?
We have Jeff Conrad on drums and his wife, Melissa Conrad. She does vocals, and Jeff does vocals as well. And then she also plays harmonica and some other little things like some, you know, percussion, tambourine, and little eggs, shake some eggs, things to help out. And she's kind of like the hype person. And we have Lisa Edwards plays keys, and we're hoping to do the show with, I have a Hammond M3 organ, and we want to hear that thing singing. And we have Todd Heitner. He's from Huntington as well as Lisa. Todd Heitner plays bass, and, you know, so just good group of guys, you know, jamming out.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you guys are mostly doing it for fun right now, or are you trying to make it something more than that? Or
just at this point, it's fun. I want to do one good show. I'm building up to that. Something that I want to work on in the future. And so that's kind of where we're kind of at. But at this point, we're getting together in either State College or at my place, because that's where the organ is, and just trying to do some little jams and practice. And I'm going to get together soon for an acoustic jam. So maybe there might be a reel or something that comes out with that. You know?
Awesome. Now, is that some of the same people that are in some of the content on your Facebook page?
You had like Todd Heitner, you'll see him on bass in 2 videos, and the rest of the band. And the last one that I posted, the Can't Always Get What You Want video. And on the one video from September, that's Casey Walkie was playing drums. He's a friend of ours, and there's also a couple other friends down in State College that jam, you know, and get together. I don't know if you remember Preston Knapp at all. He's a guy that plays some guitar, and his wife. We jam once in a while, but we haven't done much. I was in a band with them for a while with Jeff and Melissa. So, you know.
Cool. So what got you into your love for music?
Probably just being a little kid, and probably starting by listening to my brother outside of his room. He had the stereo with the records, and this is the early 80s, and just like hearing like Boston or something like that, and just hearing good music and Queen and stuff, and then just listening to my 45s, listening to like Bee Gees. No one wanted the Bee Gees in the 80s, but I liked the Bee Gees, you know?
Yeah.
So stuff like that. And then, you know, I'm really into physical media. I collect records and CDs, and I remember getting cassette tapes, and brother would record us a cassette tape, you know?
Yeah, I definitely remember doing the cassette tapes. Everybody did those mixed tapes back in the day, where, you know, or you sit there in front of listening to WFBG and press record on the...
Trying to get your song.
Yeah,
then
waiting for it to come on.
The DJ would talk at the end or the beginning. You'd be like, oh, you ruined it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Was it a floor stereo your brother had?
He had, it would have been like a component system, but it was a good stereo for the time. I mean, and he had big speakers that I later inherited as a teenager. And, you know, nothing like now I've got a better stereo system. I've, you know, kind of got into the audiophile thing.
Right.
Same with the records and collecting and cleaning them. And, CDs. I got back into CDs because the stuff you can't find unless you want to pay brand new. You can find it, on CD stuff
Mhm.
from the late 80s, early 90s. So that's kind of cool. So
My thing with CDs was I'd always end up scratching them.
yeah, that was the thing when I got into the records. I was like, if you're gonna do this, you can't let them laying all over the place. You can't take them places. You got to just like put them back when you're done.
Immediately.
Yes, you got to put them back. Do you do the records at all?
I
Or?
used to. You remember my Uncle Nathan?
Yeah, I
Oh,
actually hung
dude.
out with him.
Yeah, his record collection. He had an
Yeah.
entire trailer full.
Yeah, I went up and played guitar with him
Yeah.
about 2 years ago, and they had me up and let me see the collection. He actually helped me clean a couple records. He has a cleaner,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, he's got a huge
Yeah.
collection. Dude, he has the Beatles White Album.
That's pretty
He
cool.
has he has so many albums that are I was thinking about it the other night. I was like, wow, what a collection.
Yeah.
Like that was so cool that I got to see that as a kid.
And I got to say, physical media is probably something that really, something you can touch. It's tangible.
Mhm.
It's my copy. I'm not renting my music. I own it.
Yeah.
That's cool,
It is.
And these kids say, oh, I have all these songs. No, you don't. You rent it from Spotify, you know?
Yeah, true story. You have a playlist on Spotify. You don't actually own it.
You don't make your payment that much. You can't listen to your music,
True story.
And
there's just something about the sound of vinyl.
yeah.
I love it, that crackle when it first goes on, when the needle goes on the record.
And that's the thing that really gets me sometimes is, it's affected the industry. It's
Yeah.
affected, the way that an artist can make money. And that's why for right now, it's not a monetary thing.
Mm.
Where my focus is. So if people are like, and I have a lot of friends, just someone was asking me today, where can we see your band? And I'm like, I'm working on it. It's going to be a while. We got to give a good product,
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get good at it.
Yeah. There's some things. And like with the members being in the State College in Huntington, getting together like maybe once a month and then everyone doing their homework.
Yeah.
So we're working at it. It's going to be good. Got some good things in the works,
So you guys generally only are able to get together like once a month?
Yeah. And that's where like everyone has to do their homework. But there are some songs that we've done off and on for a few years that we know.
Yeah.
So
you're familiar with it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, even at a practice, might be like, we don't need to do that. We could work on some other material today. So that's kind of where it's going, is like just getting to that point where it's like, we're working at it, and we're probably what I have kind of planned is, if you're wondering like where people are going to see me in the future.
Yes.
I'm a member of the Patton Sportsman's Club, and they have an absolutely wonderful facility. I'm going to try to see if we can do something there. It could work for rain or shine. They have an outdoor pistol range and a pavilion, both two big pavilions that could, facilitate a lot of people. They have food there, and it's something that I'm going to meet with them and see whether or not I just rent the place and do it. I would like to do something I have a few friends that have other bands, like my bass player plays with Casey Walkie and his band Spaces in Between, and see if like they'll show up, and some other friends' bands I'd like to get a metal band. I know some guys. Because my brother's a big metal. You got to have metal to kind of do like an all day thing with food and, some things like that. And then,
maybe a couple other bands with you.
Yeah, that's the thing. A couple other bands, just, like I said, everyone would maybe do like a 45 set. We would like to do maybe like an hour and a half at the end. And, I've been helping a friend. His name's Mike Ray. His father, Phil Ray, did sound in the area, was a great sound technician, and Mike has taken over that mantle, and I help him at Arts Fest. He, does the sound, sets it up. I help him set up and tear down.
Now, which Arts Fest?
State College.
State College?
State College,
okay.
Yeah. And the one that's in July. And it was really cool. We drove down to Sidney Friedman Park.
Mm-hmm.
We were there for, I think it was 4 days, and it was really cool just seeing how he does it. I watched him mic up like big bands and stuff like that. And
there's a lot of work that goes into that.
And he's good.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to get him to help me out. If I help him this summer do it, he's going to help us run our equipment, because, get us like a good sound. So, Now, if he hears this, I haven't talked about all the details of this thing, so talk him into it.
Absolutely.
You know?
I'm sure he wouldn't mind striking a deal.
Yeah, well, he already said he'd help me do a show, but but the thing too is, I guess it's like Wayne's stock. If you ever saw Wayne's World too,
Yeah.
if you book them, they will come. You just need. Yeah, he's our Del Preston, the sound.
Yeah. So tell me about this Hammond organ. What's special about it?
Hammond, it's just an amazing tone. There's nothing like it. It just sounds phenomenal. If you've ever heard a soul organ, and even in like your song for your podcast, I mean, there's an organ in there, and there's organs that can sound close, but there's nothing like a Hammond. And a friend of mine, do you know Chris Vipond?
I used to live next to him.
Okay. I have been in touch with him, and I was looking for an organ, and I picked one up last fall, and it wasn't quite the model that I liked. And he told me he had what's called a Hammond M3. Mm-hmm. They call it the baby B3, and the Hammond B3 is like Greg Allman played them, and or there's a C3 that's very similar, but they're basically just the tone. This one is like, doesn't have quite the octave range, but it still, sounds phenomenal. It's as close to a B3 as you're going to get with anything else. And the thing is, it's been chopped, which means the legs have been chopped off and the bass pedals, so you can pick it up and take it to a gig. So he gave it to me, and he said, if it's not working out, I'll give you my M3. And it was funny. My nephew helped me. Do you remember Spencer, my nephew, Donnie's boy? Yep. He helped me get it, and we fit it in the back of my Hyundai Accent. And Vipon says, you got a Hammond organ in the back of your sedan. So I got it up to my house, and now there's a Hammond, and it's just, I don't know. I just feel like, when I got this organ, I said, I have the real thing and my friend Lisa, I want to get her to play that a little bit, because she has organ sounds on her keyboard, we're trying to, figure that out. But the thing is, it's like, I said, I could have something like my music can take a direction it's never been in before.
Right. A different sound.
A different sound that nobody's doing,
Yeah.
Because, that's where the focus will be on one good show a year, and then maybe some little ones here and there if they pop up, Another issue why I'm not playing as much is I got some knees that are bone on bone, and there's a lot of pain, and I just can't carry the equipment for 2 or 3 nights like the Hurricanes. Like, they're out there, and
you don't have any roadies.
No, that's the thing. No, you're not at that point. And when you start out, every club wants you to like start over. And I've been doing it for years, but it's like, I don't want to start over, make $150, $200, $300 a night, and where there's bands out there that are doing well in the scene. I mean, there's good bands playing. My brother-in-law, Ron Delansky, plays in Half Tempted, and he does really well, but
Half Tempted is really good.
He's really established, and he has a good show, good band, good band members. And
what were they before they were Half Tempted?
Well, he had another project called Jack Squat.
Yes.
That he played with some other guys, and I guess they've either taken a break or disbanded, but but Half Tempted's been his baby for years.
Yeah. Last time I seen Half Tempted was at Pelly's.
Yeah.
That's the last time I've really seen a band out besides Felix and the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how long ago it's been since I saw them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always enjoyed hearing them anytime I was out.
And he married my sister, Kim.
I didn't realize that until you said the other day. I was like, oh, brother-in-law. Oh.
So like I haven't seen him in a while because I've been focused on just kind of the jam thing and getting together. I don't get out as much, but he's real successful and does really well with it,
So are you guys like basically doing like covers right now?
At this point it's covers. I have been writing some originals, like you said about the album. Mm-hmm. I had hoped to record this fall. I just come off a vacation and I had time, but I am having some trouble with the software, and I just don't want to be an engineer, So,
well, if I didn't have Katie, we would not be doing a
podcast.
Yeah. So Well, I think everyone who listens to the podcast knows Casey is the producer. Or, yeah, Katie is the producer because I don't do electronics and stuff like that. I have no clue.
Yeah.
And it is hard. It's totally different than how it used to be, even 10 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine because how some of the guys that are on the brought, you mean the podcast or the,
No, even like musically, like the way the
Yeah.
electronics and there's so much software and you get so
Yes.
much computer involved in it.
Yes, because I was doing some recording with GarageBand on an iPad, and I'm thinking about going that route because it's so user friendly, so easy to
Mhm.
use, and I don't have an iPad right now, and get too many instruments and stuff to buy. But just yeah, it's changed, and I
You
did
might
have
talk to Katie about Audacity.
Okay.
We switched over to Audacity, right?
Is
Yeah,
it-
and she seems to like it.
easy to use, user friendly.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Katie.
Okay,
But yeah, that's something she could probably help you out with. Because I like making content and having conversations. I don't like sitting there for hours messing with a computer.
yeah, myself too. I don't care for that.
Yeah. Now, is there anyone in your band that that can do that?
Oh, there are a few members, but I don't think any of us have gotten that good. We have a friend, Casey Walkie, that does some. They were using the program Reaper, but I downloaded it and just did not. And Todd, the bass player, does. He's working on some other projects. We just haven't had time. And another aspect is, from where we all know each other. I mean, I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and these members are all members of, our Jehovah's Witness congregation, and
Mm.
they all have other responsibilities and things they do. So
Absolutely.
they are not, always available to do as much as like some of the bands around this area. We still want to play music and play at our best, but we also we don't want to make it a lot of pressure. We don't want to make it to where everyone's stressed, or
It's not fun.
yeah. I mean, I know if we were a professional, like I hear stories about like James Brown, someone hit a wrong note and he'd like $50, you're fined, you can't do that, or I've heard Kenny Loggins is someone that if you're in his band, you better play that right. Prince was like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Basically Prince was, but yeah, so it's like, but at the same time, now that I'm learning other instruments, it's kind of like I want to be into that realm of like a little bit of a band leader,
Mhm.
because I ask myself, like, what is it about Jackson Brown or Neil Young or someone that kind of gets to be in the lead there? It's like, well, playing multiple instruments,
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't really think about it that way.
so they could go over and say, this is what you got to do, and
Mhm.
getting into that, so that's the thing I've been kind of working at a little bit, is learning more instruments and whatnot.
What all instruments are you playing right now?
I started with guitar 35 years ago, and then probably for about close to 20 years I've been playing bass, and it's been a little over a year since I've been playing the Hammond organ, and I'm just at the point where I know my majors and minors, and I can do a lot of stuff in the key of C, but I got to learn some of the other scales. I know my like my blues scale and so I'm learning a lot of that, just the basic theory. And this is really awesome. I don't know if you know of Jim Donovan, and
That name sounds very familiar.
Rusted Root. He was the
Oh,
original
yeah.
drummer.
Yeah.
He teaches up at St. Francis, and I was going every Tuesday. He has a hand drumming class, and my friend Kent Tompkins in his band, the Sun King Warriors, and he, when I heard about it from his wife Missy, and she was like, "You should come this semester." And then he was just like, "Okay, next semester we'll see you guys again." So I'm like, "Wow, I'm learning from a guy that played at Woodstock '99."
Yeah, that's
I'm like,
crazy.
this is awesome, and he's such a good teacher. It's therapeutic as well, and it's primal. It's
Yeah.
so now there's the drumming aspect that I'm learning,
Mm.
and it's cool. It's just really cool to be learning that. So those are the four major. I've dabbled in harmonica, but with Melissa, there's no need to do that or
Right.
be in front of an audience messing with the harmonica thing. It's just, let's just keep it. You know, I had done that at times when I did the acoustic thing, but you know,
Try to keep it simple, stupid.
yeah, I'm more into electric, but we're going to get together this month and do like, a dinner and have like, and do like a semi-acoustic jam. So maybe I'll get a little video out there, something for everybody.
Excellent.
You know, get a little snippet, you know.
Yeah. Cause like I saw your backyard bash video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I had a friend, Bob Hornack, a friend of ours that he's in Casey Walkie's band, Spaces in Between.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. You said something about that you were studying music theory.
Well, that's kind of where it came with, you know, I've been studying it for a little bit. I'm not formally studying with anybody, but it's been more of like, in the time I'm not playing with musicians, I want to educate. I want to learn. Like, so it might be like at this point, if I'm learning a new song or I'm writing something, it's, you know, pick up the acoustic and how's it sound electric, get the bass, and then over to the organ to say like, what could the keyboard player do or this or that, you know, and just, and it's not really like I get on the keyboard and I'm like amazing. It's just enough to, you know, maybe be able to eventually do a song with the band for fun, maybe an entertainment value, or just to eventually get there with it and to say, okay, that would be good or that would work, or, you know, and then be able to show somebody this is what you could do, you know, and then that way it's like when you're having trouble and you can't communicate, well, now we have a bridge. Whoops. We have a bridge, you know?
You sure you don't have any Italian in you with the gestures?
I don't know. I mean, I know that my mother's family was always real big with the hands.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I was telling you before we started, I was like, I'm such a dago, and I want to bobblehead and move around and not stay in front of the microphone.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me.
It happens. I mean, you can't make these things perfect. The human aspect.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
you said, getting down to the truth of things in your song, getting down to just being natural. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was really cool. Working with that AI to create that song.
Yeah. And I think that's another good topic because you have to use it in this day and age a little. I mean, it's beneficial. It's faster. I used it for some images and you can tell people are using it and there's nothing wrong with that, you know? So, you know, but yeah, you know.
It's also better than paying a creator to like come up with a logo for like $300.
Yeah.
Like, or we use Chat GPT a lot. Well,
yeah.
And then Katie does other businesses. So it comes in handy to do all the work that's, that's just crap work.
Yeah.
That you just don't really want to do. That's extremely time consuming.
Yeah.
I think would it take 4 hours, I believe, to come up with that song? Now, mind you, we had to give it input as to what it's putting out, but the end product, we got it to where we wanted it to be. It just took work.
I think it's really good.
Thank you.
I really liked it. I think it was when I saw that, I was like, this is good. I think it's really going to help your podcast. I think.
I hope.
To be honest with you, you know.
No, it's interesting. AI is a fascinating topic to me. And now you have a lot of, have you heard some of these AI songs that came out?
I haven't really listened a lot. I know there's a guy, Rick Dieto, who he's a studio engineer and he has a studio and, he's been a producer and he has a YouTube channel and he talked about some songs and he made a few. And I just watched the episode, but I haven't really listened to a lot of them, to my knowledge, you know?
Yeah. Like, they did a redo of a couple 50 Cent songs.
Oh, yeah.
In like blues, like 50s blues, like it was wild.
I guess really, I should say I have heard some. It's just I haven't listened to them like the way I listen to physical media. Like my brother sent me a video of someone doing a blues song from Ariel's from, what's that band that did Chop Suey?
Oh, System of a
System of a Down.
Yes.
And he sent me one, and I was like, that's kind of cool,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, I have heard some, I guess, like, and especially probably too, we all watch reels and,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
shorts and stuff like that on, you can watch, and, I've seen some for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
now that I think of it,
Now, my thing is, I heard a guy the other day, I believe his name was Chase Hughes, but maybe that wasn't it. I can't remember. But when it comes to creating things, is like we worry about AI taking over everything, but he said this. He said, at some point, everything will be so controlled by AI that we'll want content that's authentic and real from a human.
I think that's true.
I do too.
And that goes back to the Hammond organ. I mean, even when something's produced, I mean, sometimes you can't hear the difference, but a lot of times I can tell. It's like I can tell. Sometimes I can tell when someone's amplifier is a transistor amp or a tube amp. And you remember the tubes that were in the T.
And the tube amps are better.
In my opinion, I've heard people say no self-respecting musician would ever play anything but a tube amp. I mean, bass amps, I don't think it's always as necessary, but I mean, I could see if you could have it. I even know some audiophiles that have tube receivers that, power amps that power their records and stuff. I've even heard of guys that pay for their own power supply so that they aren't sharing like on the grid.
Yeah.
Because they say, oh, that weakens the signal and makes the sound not as pure. So, but yeah, I do think people are going to want something real.
Yeah.
Something, I think that they're going to get tired. I think that they'll like it, but I think when times are already tough in the world right now with finances and things. And I think when you can't afford your Spotify subscription this month, you're going to say, well, maybe I should buy stuff and have it, and then I can listen to it whenever I want.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Or the power goes out and your internet's out. Well, I can put a CD in this CD player here, and run it off of batteries.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
you're right.
So there's things like that are kind of, I mean, maybe people aren't going to think that way now, but it'd be nice to see a little bit of it become, I mean, it is with records are becoming popular again.
Yeah. I love it.
My one friend, I don't know if, Ryan Spiegelmeyer, he calls them vinyls, and he does it to annoy me. Vinyls, they're records. It's a vinyl record. Nah, it's all good.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So, what genre do you guys generally play?
I like, first and foremost, blues. I love the blues. I love it. And then there's also funk. There's a lot of funky stuff in my music. I like Southern rock. I like guys that are the troubadours, the singer-songwriters like James Taylor, Neil Young, Bob Dylan. I mean, even if you don't like his voice, I mean, you could take one of his songs and any artist could perform it, and you got a great song.
Yeah.
It's just a great template, I
and
like
he
him.
sang about some really cool things.
He sings about some good stuff, stuff that'll just hit you, I'm performing a Girl from North Country, a version that's on Nashville Skies with Johnny Cash. I got a little version I kind of spoof up a little bit, make it a little bit more funky. Awesome. I've always been hyper.
Yeah,
it comes out.
No way, not you, Todd.
I think I've calmed down a little. I put down the Mountain Dew,
I think it's the knees.
Yeah, but just that kind of stuff, and a lot. I mean, I like alternative. I do like the 80s hair stuff, but I don't really want to play too much of it. I just don't.
Yeah.
My sound on my instrument, I don't go for that tone, but I like it. It's good stuff. It was good memories growing up, like late 80s, early 90s, being a teenager. You keep talking about genres, man. I even do like some more old school hip hop, stuff that uses more, just more of a natural sound instead of an overproduced sound. Maybe something that has a little more of a change. Like I remember the old LL Cool J stuff being good. And, that's probably where I first got into like hip hop and rap, and R&B. I remember listening to D'Angelo with you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he just passed away, you know?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
he wasn't too much older than us either,
No.
you know? Cancer, I think it
Oh.
was. I think.
That's a
We
shame.
should have her fact check that, like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Look that up for us.
He might bust us in the head.
I
know. Yeah, that's I know my playlist is you could get anywhere from opera to metal.
And even talking about, I have Amazon Prime so that I use Amazon Music.
Oh,
I
okay.
just have a free version that comes with the, that way I live where I want if I want something shipped to me, or you can watch TV. I do like that. And I think if I was going to release it, I would release it to that format, like release music, because everyone has it. Like if you have Amazon Prime, you have it, but it's not
I
quite
didn't realize I could have it on my phone and that it did music.
Yeah. Now you can do it for free and you can have playlists, but it'll play like your playlist, but then it'll give you like songs that go with it. Like
kind of like Pandora used to do.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Like you could pick like one song or skip so many songs and then it was playing whatever it wanted to play.
Pretty much. It'll play you something similar to what it thinks the genre is. And I do use Pandora occasionally. I was listening to it a lot this summer. Really got into it. Because sometimes if I'm out by the campfire, you just get a Bluetooth speaker, but from working for Mike Ray this summer, he gave me a PA system and I put that out by the fire and now I take the record player out.
I said I bought Katie a speaker. Boy, is that sucker jam.
I mean, everything has its place. Everything's good. I'm not against like the way things are going, but it is funny because people are like trying to get me something and I'm like to listen to, and I'm like, CD or records, or I do use YouTube a lot to watch something for like rehearsing and practicing, because you have to, I remember the days of buying a CD just to practice a song. Just think of what it was like for a musician in the, 90s doing that kind of thing, or even before in the 80s, like, oh, I want to learn a song. I got to buy a tape or record my buddy's version.
And then you listen to the tape so much it wears out and then it doesn't sound right anymore.
And I went through a lot of my older CDs and I was like, I think I bought this just for the one song. And, I didn't like the rest of the stuff. And I'd be like, it's okay. But,
yeah,
I think I bought it just because I was learning it in this band.
Yeah. And it is ironic because I didn't think about it till you said that. Like there's so many like albums and CDs and stuff I'd buy literally just for that song. I mean, the single cassettes and the 45s were cool for that, but usually end up buying the whole album.
Yeah, I do like the whole album, the LP, and I do get some greatest hits, but I typically try to find like collect, like if it's like I like the Eagles, there's another good band.
Yeah.
And Jackson Browne, like, and I want to have everything that they had available, every album that came out, and then trying to collect them and find them for the right price. Maybe find them in the dollar bin. I found a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon for $1. It's really scratchy at first, and then it cleans up perfect. And as I've been playing it, it gets like, if you can play them and clean them, and they'll get better.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
And now there are some you get and they're trashed. They're never going to sound good. They've just been played to death or played on a very bad record player, and that has too much tracking force and pressure, and it just digs in. So, but yeah, and you can also, like I said, clean them up with, like I use like rubbing alcohol. I have spray and microfiber. And just brush off your needle. Like I'll hear at some points, it'll get like a little dust on the needle and the sound will get distorted. And I gotta clean that. But it's something you have to care for. It's fun. So, but like getting back to the other things, it's nice to be able to just put on a YouTube video and learn a song that way.
Yeah, true. It is. Have you been out to, where Black's Antiques is out in Duncansville?
I know I go out to the Antique Depot. Is that?
It's right on that strip. But
Okay.
okay, there's Black's Antiques, and then right across the street, I want to say it's called Mystical Antiques, something like that. They have a huge album collection in there.
There was one we went to, me and a friend, uh, and it was good, but there's another one right there. I forget what it's called, and it's never open. Well, we've gone 3 or 4 times, and we'll be like, let's check it out. And it's not open. Oh, there's a light on. It's not open.
That is irritating.
My father was a police officer, and he would always say about a business like that, they're probably laundering money. They're
He's
laundering
probably
money.
right.
It's a front.
Let's have a laundromat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it come from. Yeah, they're cleaning the money, but it was a lot of laundromats in places, I think. You know?
Heck yeah. Well, they were in car washes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, and mattresses.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you notice how there's never anybody in the mattress store.
Yeah.
Never. So, you think you'll be able to get something together probably by next summer?
Yeah, I'm hoping for either next spring or early fall. Summer gets kind of busy for us. We have a lot of things we get involved with our religion and stuff that keep us busy with conventions and things. And
Yeah.
we all have different assignments when we go from being in different congregations and stuff, where we go to our religious conventions. And but there's that, and just wanting to make sure it's done right. And I also am going to plan on going to a meeting at the Sportsman's Club and talking to the trustees and people and seeing,
Right.
if I get their support on it a little bit and make it more. I go to a dentist up there. I've talked to him a little bit about it, and he would like to see live music. He's a member. So you get more people involved and make a really good event, and make it to where it's just like a fun day, but yet maybe have the beginnings of like a day festival, would be kind of cool. I mean, that's kind of, I guess it would be also getting in the promoting aspect, but I'm not focused on the money. Just do one good event and see where it goes. And then see if fans will want to play, go from there,
Yeah, because the promoting aspect's something totally different.
Yeah. And then also, there might be something that opens up to where it becomes something to where maybe we could make money at it at the same time. But, there's some avenues I got to get into and see where it goes, see where that goes, that's the plan. And like, hopefully using that as a venue. There are also some private parties we get invited to, and we just like someone's bash, we get together. So it's not like those aren't really public events. But there's also some places, like I had an offer for a place in Latrobe, but like, we're not quite there to where we're able to do what they're looking for like next fall. But, we'll see where that goes.
You might be ready by next fall.
I think, but at the same time, we're just, just going to take it easy. My motto for my social media is going to be, I'm playing hard to get, but easy to find.
I like it.
So it's like, not trying to be an influencer or anything, but, we're going to use some of this to, reach a wider audience and take my music somewhere and play it my best, and enjoy the education process along the way.
I think that's what you have to count on. Like if you go in it with the mindset of I'm trying to make money, it's just not going to be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, if the money comes, cool. But to try to do it strictly for money, I don't think that ever works out too good.
And if we ever get to the point where we want to book somewhere else, I don't want anyone listening to this podcast thinking, oh, we're going to play for free. I mean, I do have a business aspect that I've learned from this over the years to where we know what our worth will be.
Yeah. And if you're entertaining people, it's definitely worth money.
Yeah. Yes.
Taking all your equipment up.
Yeah.
Setting everything up. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah. But I also wonder as well if I've thought about bartering, even playing for free food, free drinks for the evening or something. But I wonder if people with the economy getting worse and worse, maybe you see more bartering. I've heard that you might see that more, and well, let's exchange something of value for something of value, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
And there's the idea of merchandise. Maybe I've heard of some bands that tour don't make any money in the tour, but they make money on the merch, you know, maybe some t-shirts or something,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So there's a couple of things that we might get in the works. Just going to have to see. Don't want to make a bunch of promises on a podcast telling people, oh, we're going to do this and that and the other, you know,
But you're going to try.
We're going to try some things, try and get some things going. And the one thing is that the band isn't really like, you know, I'm doing like this on my own. I don't even think I told them I was doing this, you know, but it's like, you know, it's because it's something in support of Todd Hinkle, you know, it's like, you know, my idea of a band and, you know, not trying to put a requirement of them to do, you know, hey, let's do this project, learn 30 songs. We'll probably do about 15, 20 songs at a show, do like a little showcase at the end. Maybe I've got some friends that might help me with the really cool lighting aspects and some things and some things with kind of a nice backdrop and some ideas that's going to take time to do it right. And I think it'll be worth the wait for people, you know?
Yeah.
So,
because yeah, people just, if you're just the average listener, like going to, like see a band at a bar or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much work goes into that.
Yes. And Felix Koss was kind of like my guitar teacher, and there's a lot of work. I've gone with him and roadied and hung out, went to shows, and a lot goes into it. I've helped Michael Ray run sound for them on the Diamond. Every fall they do a show in September on the Diamond, and I help out, and that's part of my payment for his services. You know, this year it was the PA system. The next year, yeah. And not only that, talking about education, I'm learning how to do sound and lighting correctly.
Yeah.
Learning how things are done, how to keep stage clean. I mean, I've gone on stages with musicians and there was cables everywhere. Yeah, and I'm like, I go with this guy. He's got these little quad electrical boxes, little gang boxes for, he has them connected all around. It's clean, nice, clean stage, you know, and teaching me what's upstage, what's downstage, you know, stage right, stage left, things that's like, you should know. And it's kind of cool. So,
yeah, just very basic stuff.
Yeah. But
it's still necessary.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in the education of this as well. So that, you know, when like us as musicians, we're not doing things wrong and thinking we're doing it right. Cause that happens a lot, you know,
right.
Or even the education of like, just understanding how much the major scale plays in everything, music. And, you know, that is something that, you know, my brother-in-law beat into my brain is, you know, how the major scale works. I don't know if that hits you much, Katie, or not. Like with, if I said, 1s, 4s, 5s are majors, 2, 3, 6s are minors, that, you know, that's just something that like, some people are like, what's that mean? You know, it's like, you know, it's just, that's the basis.
I have no clue what that means.
And that's fine, you know, and I was trying to explain it without, but I'm like, it's everything, you know, and then timing. Jeff Conrad is an amazing drummer. His timing, I could say it's 100 BPM and he'll come in and then we'll do a click track and be like, I was close. And he's usually like, I mean, he's right
real
there.
Close.
Yeah. If you tell him the beats per minute, you know, he teaches me a lot, you know, and Todd Heitner, so as a rhythm section, Todd can, you know, you teach him and he just comes in and he's got it, you know, and he's, you know, he's very, very mellow, but he's there, he's steady, and his bass lines are getting more and more just amazing and more full. Like in that one video where I'm playing that Before You Accuse Me at that backyard bash, his bass line is just, it's groovy, you know, it's just there.
It was good.
So I like Todd Heitner, you know, so.
That was funny when you're saying about Felix and the Hurricanes. Used to go to Shaw's and they'd be there. Was it every Friday or Saturday? And I always used to give them something and they would play Down by the River and Jimi Hendrix version of it. Oh man, I used to love them doing that, dude. Oh, it gave me chills every time they would do it.
Yeah, 'cause I love Neil Young, and but yeah, that I've seen him do that one before. Yeah, he's taught me a lot. I love watching Felix play.
They do an amazing job. I can't believe the amount of music just in their head.
They must play 1,000 songs. I mean, just imagine being in a local cover band, and they have originals too, and their originals are phenomenal.
Mm.
But just, I mean, imagine having that many songs. I mean,
In your head.
yeah. And some guys can do that. Like, there's studio musicians that could do that as well. There's some guys from out. Well, I got really interested in the Laurel Canyon area of California with like guys like James Brown. I mean, James Taylor.
Mm.
James Taylor and Carole King were out there, and there was like a lot of other musicians.
Carole King. Wow, that brings back some memories. I
Yeah.
forgot about her.
She's an amazing musician. And there's a bass player I like. His name's Leland Sklar, and he's the most recorded bass player in history. And he's got this big white beard and real mellow guy, but he could just he serves the song, do it. He's played in Toto, played for Jackson Brown, played for James Taylor, played for Phil Collins. He's just, and I don't know if you know about Toto, they're musicians. They're just, Jeff's really into them, and they're like phenomenal musicians. Like we go to learn a Toto song, I'm like, there's too many chords. It's just, the timing signature is weird, and it's like, and he played with them, and some of these guys out there in Laurel Canyon, just, the Eagles, and I think I said Jackson Brown was another, and
Yeah.
just, and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and
Oh my goodness.
just those guys, and just musicians that, and just blows my mind to think like, just what they know and everything, So,
Yeah, they a lot of amazing musicians you just named off there.
yeah.
I think I got the Carole
could
King as a she. I don't know why.
And I guess we were talking about like playing any song at any given moment. Like how do they retain that, And,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's also part of my thing. Like I have to be really rehearsed. I could play blues all night long, or even like 3-chord country stuff. I do like country as well.
Yeah.
But more older country,
Now, what do you think about like who was it? Tyler Childers? Have you heard him?
I don't know if I've heard him or not. I think maybe Mike Ray might have tried to get me into him, and I don't know. I just didn't listen to too much of it.
It reminds me of like older gritty country.
And I think it's also sometimes like if I'm with a group of friends and we're listening, and I'll say like, do you want to Bluetooth to my receiver? And I'll take their phone and we'll just hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll get into something, because I got some younger friends that they're really into Taylor Swift, and hey, she's playing her own instrument. She's writing songs and singing, and I even have a couple of her albums. Just 1989 is a great pop album. But I haven't listened to too much of him.
Yeah, he's definitely worth checking out if you like the old country sound. Well, have you heard of Oliver North?
Yeah, he has
Richmond, North of Richmond.
Yeah.
That's me playing him. Put me on to Tyler Childers, and there's one she loves, and I can't remember him offhand.
Now, I have listened to Chris Stapleton, and I think he's phenomenal.
I like Chris Stapleton a lot.
Now, I do put country on in the summer if I'm going to put my kayak on the roof of my car, and I have to unscrew the antenna, and the only thing that comes in with the antenna is Froggy.
Of course, Froggy comes in.
Yeah, of course Froggy comes in. So it's like when I'm going on the boat, I'm like, I'm listening to country. And who was the guy that walked off the stage at the end of SNL? I can't think of his name, but I like some of his stuff. I can't think. Look that up, Katie. Just what was it? Morgan Wallen, I think.
Oh, yep, you're right. That's exactly who it was.
I like some of his stuff. I do. And I think if Casey Musgraves.
I'm not sure I know who that is.
I like Casey Musgraves. Her songwriting is really good, and yeah, and I have listened to that. I do, I wish I did have a streaming service to listen to other things right now, but it's like I just like Spotify. I can't do the commercials.
Yeah.
I do it enough on TV,
Yeah. Well, we have the premium version, so I don't get commercials.
It's like 2 records a month.
Yeah. It really is. I don't blame you.
But no, I get it. I've done that before too. And I've even in the summertime said, like, I'm going to, have it for the summer and listen, So still just fighting the system a little bit.
Yeah. Everything's so much about money right now. Everything's just so tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you want to go do other cool stuff, but you're like, is it in the budget?
Yeah. I think I think it's us growing up being real adults. I mean, younger, maybe you just make decisions and then you don't worry about it,
You don't worry about food when you're younger.
Yeah.
You'll have enough alcohol to make it through the day.
And I do like in Pennsylvania, there's always someone who will give you some deer burger or something.
Yeah, true.
You're down and out,
True story. I haven't got any deer this year. I'm surprised.
A friend got one and he gave me some meat and I ground it up into some burger and I made a meatloaf last night. It was great.
That's one of the healthiest meats for you.
Yeah.
Venison.
Yeah. That's good.
Have you eaten much elk?
Once when I go up to Benazet, it's only been like 2 or 3 times. There's a place, I think it's the Maddox Inn, that has an elk burger. So that's the extent of my elk.
Yeah.
I
know that's what, Brody McCauley.
Yeah.
He has a Rules Meat Market. Well, obviously, Brody.
I know Brody.
Up. Yeah, we grew up with Brody. But he sold me some elk medallions. God, they were so good.
Were they good?
They were delicious.
Wow.
You don't want to overdo them. You just want to like braise them up on the outside.
Yeah.
Just get them the right temperature. And yeah. Good
yeah.
grief.
Food's a good part of life. I mean, and with my musical interest, I mean, sometimes I'm like, if I'm going to cook this, I want the right music playing while I'm cooking.
Absolutely.
Just,
you got to have the right
goes
music
into the
cook.
food, So yeah, it's that. I love food.
So what's a lot of stuff you've been cooking lately?
I just bought a case of wings and I'll either smoke or bake wings, but just occasionally making those, but like, cause I can have like 10 wings and it's, if you don't put too much sauce or it's baked, then it's a little healthier. And it's because, when you're trying to eat healthier, it's like, well, chicken breast, you get tired of that.
Yeah.
But, I like wings, but,
I can't believe you remember, heck, they used to throw the wings away.
I hear that.
And then I remember them being like 10 cents a wing. I think I remember driving past Pelly's to the Kingdom Hall and it'd be 10 cents a wing night.
We should invent interdimensional travel, like on Rick and Morty. And we could go to another world where they throw them away and just like
go collect them.
Go collect them, bring them back. Portal gone.
Yeah. Because now they're a god awful price.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a wing.
$10 a dozen Wednesday nights at the Sportsman's Club in Patton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad.
You can buy food there and not be a member, but $12 regularly.
That's not too bad.
That's not a bad price.
Yeah,
really good.
They were up to like $20 a dozen at some places. I was like, I am not paying $20 for a dozen wings.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing
just
it.
Doing without it. That's like for me, I get a case, 40-pound case for like $60 at Leo's up in Coalport. They have deals once in a while and freeze them and then package them, and then maybe, occasionally deep fry them. You know.
Which, you say you have a smoker?
Yeah, actually, it's funny. My buddy Mike McCoy, he had a smoker and he says, we're going to use it more at your place. We brought the smoker up. He actually just bought a turkey fryer, did the same thing. We're going to use it at your place in the country. So we'll smoke some food or we'll deep fry. We just deep fried some fried chicken and, he just recently got that. So
I have this. Wow, I have a pellet smoker. I love the pellet smoker
That's
because
what
I
I
can
have.
just set it and
yeah,
I don't have to think about it. Like especially when you're doing like a brisket.
yeah.
Man, when I did this summer, it took like 24 hours, and I was like,
Wow.
thank goodness that I didn't have to. Because when I first started smoking stuff, I was using charcoal and
Yeah.
wood and trying to keep the temperature down. And oh my goodness, it takes forever. I was never going to attempt a brisket doing it that way.
Yeah.
But now, if I can just set the smoker, it works out perfect. I can be at work and not even worry about it.
And I got to where there's certain things I'll cook, and I started not putting, because you know how the transfer plate you got to clean off and all
Yeah.
that, it gets messy.
Mm.
And I was like, I don't want to clean this all the time because if I throw it outside, my dog eats it and gets sick. So I started just putting things in a pan, like double smoking a ham or something,
Mm.
and you still get the smoke flavor,
Mm.
and getting away from like doing things directly on the rack. I just made it a little cleaner,
Yeah.
for me. I did brisket a couple times, but I wasn't real great at it,
Mm.
So like you said, 24 hours, that's dedicating.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm more of a 5-6 hour, like almost like the way the smoker can be like almost like a crock pot. Like you put it in, set it, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
I tried doing smoked pork and sauerkraut, but I think it needed more time.
Mm-hmm.
And, started it out on the smoker and then put it in a crock pot.
Mm-hmm. Just to try to get like smoke flavor on it.
Yeah, because you need, like, I prefer, my name's Hinkle, so it's German background, sauerkraut from way I was raised was it's supposed to be brown. It's not supposed to be, very light, almost white,
Right.
It should be cooked well. So cooking it for at least an 8-hour period, is what we did. Throwing a can of beer in there,
Yeah.
My mom didn't do that, but I think there's something to
The beer.
sugar because some people do dumplings. My mom did dumplings. Some people put an apple or brown sugar.
Yes.
I said, well, they're all carbohydrates.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's that because, carbohydrates turn to sugar or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Check that, Katie.
I said I have friends down in Bellwood that every year. Well, I don't know if he's still doing it, but because his wife died.
Oh.
But yeah, every year they'll take a bunch of cabbage, shred it down, and make sauerkraut.
That's pretty cool. Family did it years ago. It's a lot of work to it. I've never did it, but I have taken sauerkraut and added fresh cabbage to it, and it does. It's good.
Really?
It takes on the sauerkraut flavor, and you can't really tell. I mean, someone told me to do that sometime. So if like you have like one package and you should have two, like you could, if you had some shredded cabbage, it'll kind of stretch it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
a little hack, Some food critics or people might say, no, never, no way,
Yeah. That's it. I have a bunch of horseradish out there, but I don't know how to propagate it properly. I keep looking up videos and I'm like, I don't know. I just don't want to. The horseradish plant's really old, so I don't want to screw it up. But it's been out there for good 3-4 years.
Wow.
I did a little bit of it, but I don't know how to propagate it. To get it to grow. There's something about you have to separate it and then put it back in, or
see, I didn't even know horseradish was a plant, or I didn't know
it's a root.
See, and I just thought it was just something that they mix together to be spicy. You're always learning.
Yeah. Well, that a lot of the wasabi that we get here in the United States is actually horseradish that's dyed green.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not actually because wasabi plant's really expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's like, I don't know. Last time I checked, it was like $400 an ounce or something.
Wasabi on some sushi.
Yeah. Oh man, I love wasabi with sushi and ginger.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Have you done any ribs yet?
I did. Ribs turn out pretty good. The 3-2-1 method,
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be pretty decent. A lot of times though, if I get a rack of ribs, I've been just doing them in the oven.
Really?
I start them off. It sounds crazy, but I like something like some iced tea or a beer and some sugar and boil them.
Mhm.
And that really tenderizes them. And then when that cooks down, kind of like reduces, then, or you can put it in the oven and just a couple hours. Now, I know if guys were smoking, they'd say you're crazy, but I'm like, well, I come home from work or something, I don't have time to.
Yeah, I don't have 6 hours to
That's
do
like a
ribs.
weekend thing,
Yeah.
being able to do that, but yeah, ribs are good. I've done ribs on, they came out really good.
Yeah.
I mean, getting that natural smoke, there's nothing like it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, well, oh, good grief. Yeah, you got me hungry now. Now I'm thinking about what I'm doing for dinner. So, yeah, where can people find you at to hear some of the stuff and some of the reels that you're going to put out?
Just keep looking on my Facebook page. It's just Todd Hinkle or Instagram. I do have a YouTube page, but it's just hasn't been very, very productive. So I've just kind of like, it's there for maybe the future, but
What's the name of your YouTube page? Just Todd Hinkle.
I think just Todd Hinkle. I have to
Check it out. I will look it up.
Here, let me see. Turn my phone off for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It can make noise. Yeah, because we won't make noise. Maybe as things get closer with the other thing, maybe I'll get all this information together. But you can find me definitely on Facebook. It's just Todd Hinkle, and Instagram. I mean, my pages are linked, so usually when I post one thing, it comes up.
In both.
Yeah, I've been finding, and I've been really finding Facebook seems to be probably just because of my age. It just seems to be where I'm getting more treading.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
But like I was telling someone today, was texting me. I actually talking about food. I went to get Chinese before I came here, and I was eating, and I was telling someone what's going on. I said, "Well, you'll hear more at the podcast, and why we're working on it, why it's taking longer, and keep posted to some of my reels. They'll be out there here and there.
Okay.
Hard to get.
We'll definitely be posting your Facebook and your Instagram to this episode.
Okay.
So anybody that wants to, they can go ahead and
great. Yeah.
Pop the link.
Sounds awesome.
Heck yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming. It's been fun catching up with you.
It was awesome, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had me on here.
Heck yeah. All right, everybody.
All right.
Peace out.
All right. We'll see you.
My team and I know how valuable your time is, so we wanted to thank you for making Across the Table part of your day. By liking, sharing, and subscribing, you help keep us inspired and motivated to continue creating content for all of our listeners. If you have ideas for the show or would like to be a guest, please contact me via email at james@acrossthetablepodcast.com. That's james@acrossthetablepodcast.com. Thank you.
Pull up a chair, set the world aside. Let's find the truth we keep